guys, it's Crab. Today we're gonna be talking about video game music, and we'll play Fire Emblem as I do it.
Full disclosure, it took real restraint not to just release a video of that after all the hype I put into this first real project. I know you're like, oh, what is this, effort? Yeah, I'm using legit software this time, and a fancy old mic. Nothing's wrong with Share Factory, but being limited to your PlayStation controller for video editing is about as fun as it sounds. Not that it stopped me from putting together some dog shit Let's Plays like Resident Evil and Until Dawn and Terraria. And yeah, Until Dawn got deleted. And that's cause watching those Until Dawn videos back gave me literal cancer. Cancer aside, I'll tell you a little bit about me. I'm Crab Story. My friends call me Asshole. This super neat profile picture, as well as this banner image that you're looking at, was created by Daft Dugs. Or as I like to call him, my dumbass, shit-ass, assin' little brother. That was his choice of wording, not mine. Now, my whole thing is that I have trouble keeping my attention on a video game for more than a little at a time. I have a metric nut ton of games installed on my various devices at a time, and about half of my library doesn't get the love it deserves. Are you seeing this shit? This is a problem. I have a problem. So, I've got a fun little idea. While, yeah, I have the best track record of sticking to a game for many episodes, I want to do one-offs instead. To be frank with you, the idea of finishing a game while I'm by myself sounds about foreign. Much less with the record button going. You can't expect me to stay interested in a game long enough. So why don't I show off some games I appreciate, talk a little about them, and then rant about some irrelevant shit. That sounds pretty true to my nature. If you think you can enjoy my poorly written ranting while I show some random games off, hey, stick around. I'll try to stretch my short attention span to one game per video. That'll force me to sit down and record myself playing for more than 5 minutes at a time. So, what game are we playing tonight? You ever heard of Rogue Legacy 2? This is a sequel to another awesome game called Rogue Legacy 1. This is a game that falls under a genre very near and dear to my heart called the roguelike. Hang on. Okay, so it's a roguelite. Here's the difference. Just wanted to clear it up. Now, this family of roguelike and roguelite games does really well by my squirrel brain. Randomly generated levels, short playthroughs, it reeks of me. Now, while I enjoyed the first Rogue Legacy a decent bit, this second one is stellar, and I'm personally finding it to be an improvement in all possible ways. A few other roguelite sequels have struck me in a similar way, all of which I obsess over similarly to how I obsessed over their prequel counterparts. The roguelite has been a massively popular genre for the past several years, and it doesn't seem to be slowing down. Personally, I don't mind the thought of this trend going on forever. Now, different roguelites will have their own different little gimmicks, and Rogue Legacy 2's gimmick is the legacy system. With each death, which there will be plenty of, you'll get to choose one of the 3 offspring of your fallen hero, each with their own random class, spell, possibly an antique, and most likely some traits. Now, without going into too much detail, all of these of course vastly change your playstyle for that run. One cool example is that some of these traits will negatively affect you, but will come with a bonus multiplier for the gold that you pick up. You'll see there's no negative traits on this run that we're doing right now, but that's mainly to be a bit more safe and have a longer playthrough to kind of showcase the game. During each run, you pick up a whole bunch of gold. Gold is spent after death on permanent upgrades, meaning over time you'll be able to progress further and further through these difficult-ass Metroidvania-style castles. Some of the challenges I've encountered so far focus more on a thinker's Twitch platformer approach than I've seen from the prequel, and at times it makes me think back to when I'm playing Celeste. That's a good thing. And what I mean by Thinker's Twitch platformer is it's incredibly fast-paced, but you'll come across a bunch of screens where you have to stare for a sec, like, wait, where do I use this dash? Can I recharge it with the echo boots to get on the platform? It's not quite as rich with these moments as Celeste is, but it's quite baller in how it dabbles with some of that element. Another thing I really like in video games is surprises. You'll hear a good bit more about that whenever we get to today's topic, but a fun little surprise that this game likes to give you is that if you're about to play as a character with a spell, antique, or trait that you haven't used yet, it just shows up as a bunch of question marks. To find out what these are, you have to choose it and roll with it. All these in-game items function similarly. I can't see what they are until I find them. It's very satisfying as I put more and more hours into the game, seeing fewer and fewer of these undiscovered things, these question marks, and it's a little sad knowing that eventually I'll have discovered all of them. I could say plenty more about the game, but I've talked it up enough. Watch me play it in the background. Or don't. You do you, boo-boo. Let's talk about why I'm here today. I think we can get a little more dramatic than that. If you know me in person, and let's face it, most of you do, you know that something I'll frequently ask people, and usually will ask people when I first meet them, is, what music have you been listening to recently? In fact, many would agree that it's kind of obnoxious how often I bring it up. To be clear, I fully plan on talking about music on this channel outside of the world of video games, and I'll force you to sit through it, so look forward to that. It shouldn't be all that astonishing that good music can make a game for me. While I see that quite a lot in the indie scene, I don't see it nearly as much as I would like with our AAA friends. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy a sweeping, grandiose orchestra just as much as the next squirrel, but holy shit, most AAA music is just a passing grade. There's a few shining exceptions, of course. There's a lot of things that can win my cold and dead heart over whenever I hear a good soundtrack. But I'd say foremost is whenever a game has the moment. This can happen a metric ass ton of different ways, but we've got a pretty good example from a recent playthrough on this very channel. You got headphones around? Throw them on, no casuals allowed. Spoilers ahead for the game Inside.
Oh, the blast thing killed my helmet. It's probably gonna be...
Who was here for this? Raise your hand. Playdead's Inside is a genius puzzle platformer. I recently did a 3-hour stream of the game where I played through the entirety of it. This part was absolutely the highlight. I'm currently fast forwarding because I got to a puzzle, and even though I'd played this game once before years ago, I didn't have any memory of how to beat this specific puzzle, and I was having a minute of struggling with it. Well, more like 8.5 minutes, but I think the devs knew that people would have a bit of a struggle with this part. That's because the second I realized what I was supposed to do and tried it, I was rewarded massively.
This is odd. Oh, I know what to do. Okay. I know I said I was going to look it up, but I didn't look it up. Let's see at what point. Alright, does it there, and then does it whenever it is perfectly halfway across from itself. Let's see if it persists that pattern. Alright, we know what to do. So what I need to do is have it timed so that it's blocking me. Yes, I'm a genius. Oh, dude. Oh my goodness, okay. I know what to do now. I didn't look it up, I promise. I know I said I was going to, but I didn't. Yes. All right. Okay. Oh, that's another reason I really liked the game, because notice that the music changed the moment you get past a puzzle that you like struggle on. There's like
Now, at that very moment, I about jasmed at the sheer genius of the sound design there. I was a bit too shell-shocked to competently be able to explain what was happening, but I love this clip because you can see the genuine, raw reaction I have to a moment. The instant I tried out this correct idea for beating the puzzle, I was rewarded. Before that, all you're hearing is this massive pulse emitter in the background causing these shockwaves that you're trying to avoid. It's accompanied by a little bit of synth. The instant the shockwave hits while I'm behind the moving wall and I climb in time to avoid its pulse, it triggers this techie percussive hit that syncs with the pulse. These techie hits continue with the pulse as this lovely swelling synth accompanies it. One of the first occurrences of encouraging music in this otherwise very bleak and quiet game. In other words, shit slaps. We're still listening to it. I have it playing in the background right now. And a really neat feature, both for if you're playing the game and for me editing this video right now, is that anytime I died, which I died a few times, the blasts, along with their percussive hits and accompanying synth, retained its place, meaning to say the game doesn't stop the music or the sounds for your death. This does wonders for your level of immersion in the game, and it makes it really easy to sync up this music with the footage you're seeing in the background. Fucking score. And to quote myself from during the stream, that synth, goddamn.
I mean, just that synth. I mean, goddamn.
Alright, shake it off. Sorry, the colors are still dramatic. There we are. So I've got two other examples of this I'm going to be sharing with you tonight. Let's not dilly-dally. Oh, check it out, we're getting all cutesy now. This next game is called And in Doki Doki Literature Club, well, it's a dating sim, and you can bond with one of 4 different classmates, each with their own personalities. You're all part of an after-school literature club where you discuss poetry you've written. The player can choose to romance any one of the 4 classmates through dialogue choice and targeting the word choice in their own poems to suit one of their personalities. The game's cutesy as all hell, and in general is just a great time to sit through. There was that weird warning whenever I booted the game up, but if you're like me, you won't give that much of a thought. The Steam page also said something kinda who gives a fuck. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, this isn't typically a genre I would play, but the music I'm hearing is extremely well made. Before I know it, I'm hours into the game, and the several tracks it has are all an object of familiarity in my head at this point. I hum along to it at times. And wait, pause the music. Do you know what a motif is? No need to Google it, I did that for you. There's a few definitions for it, but I'd like to bring your attention to this third one here. A short succession of notes producing a single impression, a brief melodic or rhythmic formula out of which longer passages are developed. Let me show you 3 different songs from this game back to back and you'll get a good example. Remember that lovely little phrase of notes. That's 2 different tracks, and what we're hearing there is a motif persisting between tracks. Here, I got one more for you. Yeah, that one's a little more melancholy. Now, before I continue talking about this, jokes aside, I want to stop and let you know there is some disturbing content ahead. Like, genuinely distressing. It's censored, but I bet it could still be upsetting for some. Yeah, I've been flashing warnings on the screen, but just in case you're more the listen without watching type like me, I'm putting a timestamp on the screen now of where to skip to if you don't want to see this disturbing bit. Back to what I was saying though. Now, something I really like about these 3 songs that I showed you is that they set very different moods. They're very different songs. First one is cutesy and innocent to show you what kind of game you're getting into. I'm lying. The second one is lively and inspiring. And that third one, yeah, is more emotional. It plays during some of the heavier parts of the game. Yeah, this game gets a little serious. One of the girls I talked about earlier is Sayori, your childhood friend. She starts to say some concerning things and leads us as the player to wonder about her mental health. Now, some of that stuff hits pretty hard. Not feeling the happiness you anticipated when finally attaining what you felt like would bring it. That shit's relatable. And it makes the music all the more impressive to me that it can properly convey this sadness, all while using the same tune that made me feel chipper earlier. That's some damn fine songwriting to be able to use the same melody to convey a few different moods. And I've got another example for you here in a minute. Story context is a bit more important for this last one, so spoiler alert. After one of those heart-wrenching sad chats with Sayori, we go to school the next day for this festival, which she's also supposed to be at, but she's not. We decide to go to her house to check on her, and as we're standing outside, the music gets quiet. We knock at her door, which she doesn't hear, doesn't let us in. We're assuming that she's still sleeping. Feeling a little weird about it because we've never done anything like this with her before, we let ourselves into her house and proceed to her room. From outside of her room, we again knock, where she continues to not answer. At this point, we're assuming, damn, she's a heavy sleeper. We weigh our options and wonder how much of a breach of privacy it would be to just walk right on in. She doesn't give us much of a choice, so we go ahead and open her door while That there, folks, is our 4th example of a motif. I have it censored, but something tells me you can tell exactly what's going on. Sayori is hung, and not in a good way. As our character sees this, all they can do is stare. Well, stare and dwell on how it is our fault. We should have done things different. We should not have told her what we told her. We should have told her these other things. It's a gut punch as the main character blames themselves because by extension, they're blaming you and your various choices in the game. Now I feel this part of the game would only have a fraction of the punch it does if it didn't have this music. This sequence of notes have been played many times and in many different contexts. You've gained an intimate familiarity with it. What this moment does is take that familiarity and tear it away from you violently. It's an excellent example of a moment because it establishes a comfort zone being the melody and shits all over said comfort zone. I fucking love it. Just a heads up, if you're into the idea of playing that game, that was a major spoiler, yes, but there's lots of other cool parts of the game that are disturbing and horrifying. What I showed you is not even close to the end. And it's free, so go play it. Did you like my spooky voice there? It felt weird it felt weird using it. We've got one more game to talk about that has an awesome moment. Is it cheating if my last example is literally from a game that's built on its music? Well, I'm the creator of this channel, and I say that right there is fine. Tell me, friend, do you play rhythm games? Now, I played the shit out of all the Rhythm Heaven games, and both Crypt of the Necro Dancer games, among many others. With how huge music is to me, it's not a surprise seeing that rhythm games are fucking also huge to me. I thought I'd try something different while showcasing this last one. Let's just do some raw footage. I'm gonna start playing the game right here. Yep, look, right, watch, yep, see, what, yeah, look, yeah. You're getting the raw experience, uncut, baby. Oh god, that needs a comma, just, alright, there we go. Yeah, fuck that background music. We're just using this raw footage and its audio for our fucking backing track. You know, let's make it even better. I'm gonna do this one take from here on out. This shit's falling apart. You can see that the overlays over on the top left, the fucking recording software. You see me messing around with my toolbar. The entire concept of the video is falling apart. The idea was that I have a Let's Play going on in the background, and then I overlay it sometimes with the stuff that's relevant to what I'm talking about in a video essay sort of way. This is now just a Let's Play sitting on top of a Let's Play, my fucking meta ass. I'm gonna go use the restroom. Hang on, 1 second. Someone's in the bathroom. I'll go later. Anyway, what is up, guys? It's your boy, Crap, here.
Es ist der junge treibende Schichter. Unbedingt liegen und ab.
That was a good one.
Shut the fuck up.
Hold on. Stop the game. Stop. Well, you can unpause Rogue Legacy. This shit's getting confusing. I lost my script somewhere. Let's just take it back. I think that the game inside is a cock-ass shitcock. If you've never heard of Doki Doki Literature Club, then honestly,
Be sure to subscribe to my OnlyFans.
Rhythm Doctor is an excellent rhythm game and definitely my favorite that I've played on PC. The gameplay and the music here are king. It's not a super long game, but I tend to like experiences like that don't overstay their welcome. What I was starting to say before I blacked out is that we're seeing this footage straight from how I played it. I just wanted to showcase a few levels. Kinda talk over it in the meantime. This game, like many other rhythm games, features a lot of distraction effects to try to throw you off of your rhythm while you're playing, and it's fun. These boss levels, like this one in the game, tend to be a bit more difficult due to an increased amount of these distraction effects. This is the first boss level of the game. We see some static, we see some screen overlay effects, some offbeat noise, and some other junk in an effort to throw us off. Definitely kind of meta, which is a recurring thing in this game, and that's pretty sick. What I'm supposed to be doing as I'm playing here is clicking the spacebar on beat 7. Pretty basic, pretty easy, but you'll see these distraction effects get more and more prominent as the song goes on. So as you're playing the game, you'll come to realize that the soundtrack is quite baller. It's mainly consisting of electronic music, but it pulls from so many different subgenres that inspire not only the song playing, but the background to the level. Exhibit A. I could give you several other examples, but I want to spoil as little of this game as I need to, and I feel like I need to show this level before I can show you the next boss level, which is the moment. Spoiler alert, sorry. If you're a fan of rhythm games and you play on Steam, then I don't know why you don't already have this game. Why don't you pick up that pretty little purse of yours and get it? Anyway, what I was starting to say is, as you're observing this game, you'll see all these different subgenres, and the only real constant point you're seeing between all of these songs is there's a bit of an electronic element, as well as they're all instrumental, as is quite normal for video game music. A bit of a side thought and probably an unneeded tangent, but I've always loved instrumental music, and I guess that's why video game music often means as much as it does to me. I enjoy the idea of having fewer means to your disposal, which really means a lot needs to happen with what little there is. This is, by extension, why I enjoy bottle episodes of television so much. These can sometimes be where the writing is king. Sometimes it ends up kind of dog shit, but oftentimes this handicap of not being able to take the setting away from one contained area, often with very few of the characters, you'll get some magic. Yeah, I can sit here all night and talk about the various examples of that, like Family Guy, The Sopranos, Community, or even X-Files doing it, but that's not what this video is about. As we're wrapping up this song here, I'll let you know that there's a few different ways to play the game that are introduced to you instead of just always being hit it on the 7th beat. Sometimes it's hit it on every 2nd beat. So whenever I was at this point we're at now, just finishing up Act 1 of the game, my first playthrough, I was pretty well entertained by all of this. I had no goddamn clue how Act 2's boss fight was gonna step it up, but boy did it. I'll say one more time that if there's even a chance, a small chance you might play this game, then I will ask you please to turn off this video now and experience this next part for yourself, because I am so glad that's what I did. I think it's worth mentioning that my editing distractions and glitches were an homage to this game, but that's all done now. All of what you're going to see moving forward is pure gameplay.
Get set, go!
I just can't refrain. Bitterness so quaint. One more shot, never again. All the excuses, always the same. All the times I tried, I just couldn't get over you. I just cannot hide the satisfaction you can prove. One more sip and breath, my words disappear for a while. Then it all comes kicking in.
And stop! Get set, go!
They told me it's
A couple things about this completely stunned me. First, there was a couple hours of gameplay before this, and this is the first we're hearing of sung vocals. Also, the fact that the game took itself out of full screen and made the window dance around to the song. I've never seen a game do this before or anything like this. I heard Undertale does it too, but other than that, I haven't seen or heard of this effect in a game since or before. These combined firsts are the ultimate ascending of the distraction element in this game, and it's meta in a way I didn't think could be done. You want to know something personal about me? I'm very stoic, kinda not super emotive of a person, but this moment makes my goddamn skin tingle. And by moment, I mean literally this entire boss level. If I had to decide what basis element makes a moment, it would probably be conceptual contrast. Maybe it's playing beautiful music in an otherwise bleak game. Maybe it's taking a cutesy environment and flipping the entire theme of the game on its head while souring a familiar melody. In this case, it's overwhelming the senses with a bunch of new ground, visually as well as audibly, and it's fucking incredible. So incredible that it actually pains me to even speak over this, but I wanted to keep this kind of a video essay. I'll be sure to link it down in the description so you can watch this without hearing my dumb little voice. This video was originally going to be 15 minutes in length, but a little bit different now. If you're still here I'm not sure why you would be, but I really appreciate it. I hope your night is wonderful, and I hope to see you again. Thanks.